philosophy does not let him protect his people, his home, and his family. What good can it do for the world?
Throughout the course of Assassin's Creed, we've actually had many characters who defected from the Brotherhood to the Templars. Probably the most well-known of the games are Duncan Walpole, Lucy Stillman, Daniel Cross, and of course, Shay making his own luck, Cormac. But of all the characters in Assassin's Creed who have turned traitor, I think one of the most justified in their betrayal is Vali Tradat, also known as the Sentinel from Revelations. He's one of my favorite obscure little characters in the franchise. He has a very interesting, tragic backstory, a cool character design and nickname, and was skilled and intelligent enough to deceive and evade Ezio himself. His name literally means Vali the Betrayed in Romanian, and where some characters defected from the Assassins out of greed, envy, or a contract dispute, Vali's justifications are entirely understandable, and I can't really blame him for defecting to the Templars at all. He was a Wallachian nobleman who joined and served the Brotherhood for nearly 10 years until the Assassins established a truce with the Ottomans and Sultan Bayezid II, Suleiman's grandfather. This was effectively treason to Vali because the Ottomans had invaded and conquered Wallachia, along with murdering his idol Vlad the Impaler in the process, a historical figure. He impaled people. Like a lot of people. In the Assassin's Creed lore, Vlad the Impaler was secretly a Templar. It's unclear if Vali would have been aware of this or not, but Vlad was actually killed by the at the time mentor of the Ottoman Brotherhood, Ishak Pasha, Yusuf's predecessor and the man who recruited him in the first place. So not only did the Assassins side and make peace with those who conquered Vali's homeland, but they also helped, whether he was even aware of that or not. Regardless, you can imagine how this must have made him feel. When the creed you so fervently believed in and served sides and makes peace with those who invaded your home and killed those you cared about, what do? Well, if you're Vali, you join the Templar Order and exact your revenge. We first encounter the Sentinel in Revelations' main narrative in Sequence 3. One of Ezio's recruits informs him that a substantial number of assassins from the Ottoman Brotherhood have gone missing over the last few months, and he believes he has a lead as to why. The pair head over to where the recruit suspects the perpetrator may be, where they find the bodies of a couple slain assassins. Ezio uses his eagle vision to piece together the crime scene, and we can see the Sentinel using a hidden blade and assassin techniques such as the bench assassination and hiding in plain sight to assassinate assassins. Knowing how the assassins operate and their techniques made Vali one of the most effective and feared members of the Byzantine Templars. He was basically an assassin serial killer. Ezio and his apprentice catch him fleeing the scene and try to chase him down, but he easily dodges the apprentice's air assassination attempt like it's nothing, drops a smoke bomb, and uses nearby Templars to distract Ezio and make an escape. Granted, he had help from his Templar buddies, but escaping Ezio Auditore is no mean feat, and one very few have ever accomplished. Ezio even praises Vali's skill and deadliness afterwards, lamenting that his apprentice is not yet ready to take on someone of his caliber.
Until that man is caught or killed, I fear none of us will be safe in this city.
And until you are properly trained, I will not let you go head-to-head with a killer as deadly as this man. Let us focus on further honing your skills first.
Again, being acknowledged by Ezio, especially as an enemy, means you're probably pretty good at what you do. The next time Vali strikes, instead of outright killing assassins, he kidnaps and takes two of them hostage to use as leverage, demanding the assassins surrender their headquarters to the Templars in return. Or at least that's what he wants them to think. Ezio is like, nah, we're not negotiating, and goes off to free the two hostages himself, taking the bait like Vali had hoped, because all of this was a diversion to draw assassins like Ezio away from headquarters so the Templars could invade and take it by force through strength and numbers. Again, it takes a special kind of smart to deceive Ezio Auditore. Ezio, on his way rushing back after discovering Vali's ruse, runs into him yet again, who reciprocates some of Ezio's praise. There's definitely a bit of mutual respect between these two, knowing the other's capabilities. Another chase ensues, where this time the apprentice, who's presumably undergone some training, is able to get the drop on Vali, thus ending his assassin murder spree. It does feel a little odd to me that after a little training, the apprentice is able to kill Vali when he just got embarrassed by him not too long ago, especially considering Vali was an assassin for a near decade and was skilled enough to take out scores of them by himself. But I don't think Vali knew the apprentice was on the rooftops. He was solely focused on trying to outrun Ezio, so I guess I can buy him getting caught off guard by that air assassination. In the memory corridor, Vali explains his reasoning and justification, where he drops one of the more low-key, hard-hitting lines of the franchise.
Once your creed was as vital to me as air and water. But when the Turks marched into Wallachia, and you assassins did nothing to stop it, how could I continue to believe? If a man's philosophy does not let him protect his people, his home, and his family, what good can it do for the world?
Peace be with you.
Ezio nor the apprentice try to refute or argue with what he says, they just hear him out and send him on his way. Ezio, especially at this point in Revelations, is wise enough to understand his motives, even if he obviously doesn't agree with his actions. I think Vali was justified in leaving the Brotherhood. When you think about what happened from his perspective, it's hard to fault him. Many people would do the same. However, killing many assassins who likely didn't have anything to do with what happened to Wallachia and the truce, as that would have happened about 30 years prior, may not be as easily defensible. He obviously became disillusioned with the Creed and just wanted revenge on the assassins and Ottomans as a whole. It didn't matter to him if the people he killed weren't directly responsible. In his eyes, they're guilty by association. I don't think he truly believed in the Templar ideology either. This is me speculating because there's no concrete information in the game on this, but I think you can infer some things based on his backstory. He was once a die-hard assassin. They were as vital to him as water and air. His words. I doubt even after feeling betrayed by them, he would just suddenly be a dedicated believer in the Templar cause. I mean, he could have been made to believe over the years, who knows, but I'd say it's pretty likely they were just a means to an end for him to take down the assassins, as they provided him with the best opportunity to do so. What's the best way to get back at your former team? Join the Ops. Kind of a similar situation with Shay, where it seemed like stopping the assassins was the #1 priority, and through the Templars was the best way to accomplish that goal. Vali was probably content to just deal as much damage to the assassins and Ottomans as he could before he died. I've always found this to be a really interesting little storyline that I wish was a bit longer. It's only 2 very brief missions. It would have been neat to maybe flesh out Vali more because it's an intriguing idea for a character, there's lots of potential in it, but this all takes place in the main story, so they probably didn't want to have it take up too much time, as it doesn't actually have much to do with the overarching narrative of the game. Funnily enough, this isn't technically the only appearance of Vali either, because he's one of the playable characters in Revelations' multiplayer mode. The multiplayer is meant to be a training simulation created and run by Abstergo for Templar agents, which is why many of the playable characters are Templars, and naturally, the Sentinel, an assassin turned Templar who killed assassins, would be one of said playable characters. Vlad the Impaler is in there as well, along with the other assassin turned Templar in Revelations, Haras. Abstergo sure loves its assassin defectors. There's also this mod for Revelations that lets you play as Vali, which I had some fun with. I really like his character design. A cool design and a cool name for a cool character. Let me know what you guys think about Vali Chel Tradat, the Sentinel, in the comments. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate it if you considered leaving a like and subscribing if you're new. And if you betray my brotherhood, I don't care how valid your reasoning is, I will hunt you down. Have a great day.
If a man's philosophy does not let him protect his people, his home, and his family, what good can it do for the world?